Прокачай свой английский с приложением English Galaxy. Доступно в App Store и Google Play. Hello everybody, and I butchered my very first line, which is good. Hello and welcome to the new series. I haven't come up with a title. What do you think about couch time?
Oh, I like it. It sounds good. Yeah, couch time.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. let's have couch time then. Seeing the audio is not peaking, so it's okay.
Great.
So my very first guest on Couch Time is none other than Jack Owen.
Hello.
Who is now a theatre director, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, who's going to be, well, it's just not a premiere any longer, but it's going to be a huge show on March 8th. And it's called The Opposite Sex.
Yeah, this is the third time we've run it, I believe. So we're sort of well practiced by this point, know what we're doing. In theory.
Yeah, well, I've seen the previous ones. Yeah, just make sure you don't miss it. I'm just fingers crossed that this video will premiere before the show, so the commercial will stay relevant.
Okay.
Yeah. So just in case it doesn't, please edit this out. I'm kidding. I'm sure it won't. So tell us, me, a little bit about your background.
Okay, sure. So,
where were you born?
Yeah, sure. I got
what was your passport data, credit card number, and the backside as well, please.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So, I was born in Bournemouth, the town at the south of England on the coast. So, imagine, in the sunny weather, it's lovely to go and relax at the beach. In the winter, it's horrendously windy. You can't carry an umbrella because it will break. It's
okay.
Yeah, this kind of weather. So I lived there for a long time. Then I moved to London, where I studied theatre. I studied European theatre arts, which, in a long way round, sort of led me ultimately to here. And here I am teaching English and drama, or English through drama, I should say, with very young children mostly. And also, as you said, I'm directing theatre here.
Okay, but why Russia of all places?
Good question. So, like I said, I studied European theatre arts, which actually less emphasis on European theatre and more on avant-garde and experimental theatre. And as you can imagine, throughout theatre history, Russian theatre was very, very important. So I was interested because of this. And then I was lucky enough to come to Moscow in 2012 as part of a show, and we put on a show as part of a theatre festival here. And ever since that point, I wanted to return because it was so interesting. I'd only been here for about a week, so I'd always wanted to return and stay for a while. But now, of course, my wife is Russian, so we are living here together, and yeah, that's it. That's my life story for you.
But how long have you been actually living here?
This is my third year now.
Third year?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you plan on staying here, or are you moving back eventually?
It's a really hard question. Honestly, we don't know. There's a lot of different options. To be honest, our life here is very comfortable. I really like it here. We like living here. We have a good community of people around us. So at the moment, we're very happy. But in the future, who knows? I don't think anyone expected this year, let alone the next 5, 6. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. But what about the climate? You just said that the climate is not really that fantastic in some months of the year, like when you come from. But what about this?
Okay, so slightly interesting. Before here, I was living in Spain for a couple of years, which is where I met my wife. Then we moved to Beijing, to China, where it does get very cold, but in the summer it's very, very hot, very humid. And I had decided that we'd been in hot weather for a little bit too long, so I really wanted to come somewhere cold, which, it felt right to come here. But the climate here is wonderful because you have 4 seasons, real seasons. You don't believe so?
Well, it's every year is different.
Sure, that's true. You never know what you're going to get. But through my eyes, you get a beautiful autumn. Winter is very cold. Summer is very hot. Spring is spring.
Now, 2017 was really different because summer lasted for just 3 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, I remember perfectly. Just August.
Really?
Yeah, just 3 weeks of mostly hot weather.
Right.
Quite pleasant. Went skinny dipping once.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and yeah, the rest was just winter. It was, believe it or not, it was snowing on the 2nd of June.
Right.
Yeah, so I looked out of the window. I was like, you know how they do it in movies.
Yep.
And yeah, so I saw some people posting Instagram. Yeah, I was not hallucinating. It was definitely snowing on the 2nd of June.
Right.
So, it gets different. Like 2020, by the way, was really good in terms of weather.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
it was
last year we didn't have proper winter, right? We didn't have a lot of snow, so it was nice to get a nice snowy winter.
Yeah,
this year.
it was like winter lasts for like a month or so,
right?
Like mid January, mid February, but like it was bad in terms of everything else,
mm-hmm.
but in terms of weather, yeah, it was fine. It was
perfect.
Fine. So, is there anything, I guess shouldn't construct the question this way. What are the specialities in terms of phonetics and vocabulary in Bournemouth?
You mean what makes the accent special, perhaps?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
My accent is a bit odd. My accent is very... How can I say this? It's very rounded. It's very... You know what? At home, I would say it was very bland. People here don't necessarily think that, but I would say it's very bland. It's almost, if you ask someone from England, they would probably say I do not have an accent. That's the kind of accent I have. So my accent is vaguely from the south of England. It's not necessarily not necessarily a native like Bournemouth accent. So from my accent, I would say, like I said, it's very rounded. It's not quite RP, what we would call RP, which is like how the Queen would speak, for example. But it's a very clear, it's almost, it's a very clear, very clean accent. It doesn't have much personality, let's say that, perhaps.
Well, yeah, it's an interesting perspective from a native speaker. I can like if this was the first time I met you, I would definitely place you in somewhere in the south.
Yeah, I've had people before pinpoint me pretty accurately just through my accent. So I think it's relatively typical of my area.
Yeah, it is. Jordan speaks very different.
Yeah, see, Jordan's from up north, and you can tell the difference immediately. Now, this might just be my perspective, but I would say his accent, like northern accents in general, have a lot of, I don't know, they have a lot of personality. They have a sing-song like quality, which, I mean, personally, I don't believe southern accents do. Some southern accents, of course, but as I said, mine is relatively neutral. It may also be because I went to drama school, although I went to a very interesting theatre, or my school focused on a very interesting theory of voice, not like a speech and drama school. Even so, I think I did get any accent I might have had knocked out of me in that way, because I was focusing on speaking clearly and concisely in that way. So.
Do they actually have any technique of sort of making you forget your native accent, like seriously knocking you out?
Absolutely, yeah. So I didn't really have to do this because my accent is relatively neutral, but there's definitely ways. It's mostly about opening vowels, things like this. So you may have seen maybe in some comedy shows, but they really do this, is to take a cork, like a wine cork or something like this, and talk through your hair. And by holding it in between your teeth and talking, it teaches you to use your lips and to open up your vowels. This is one thing I do with my students here. I make sure they're talking with a very big, wide mouth, because that's how to really round out an English accent and really make it clear.
Because it's something that I never do, by the way.
It's tough, and also it looks ridiculous sometimes when you're practicing very wide mouth. It looks ridiculous, but it is important.
For the theatre, I presume you kind of need it.
Absolutely, because it's another way of projecting, speaking very loudly with big open vowels that are really easy to understand and to catch.
The reason why I remember it is that have you seen Gosha Kutsenko? I presume like 30 seconds in Russia you've seen him.
I probably do, but I don't know it by name.
He's a well-known actor. Well, I mean, his heyday was like in early 2000s.
What has he played in?
Every shitty movie.
I probably know who you're at. Yeah, okay. I
He's
probably know.
tall,
He's
bald.
an older guy, right? He was in Night Watch, maybe?
He was in Anti-Killer.
I
Remember
don't
that?
know that one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, he's like early 2000s. He was in every single movie.
I think I
And-
probably know who you mean.
And lots of commercials. He's
Okay.
he's bald,
Yeah, sure.
tall, skinny, big
Okay.
nose. Yeah. So, but the reason why I remembered it that he actually comes from Western Ukraine.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, who speak an entirely different language.
Mm.
Like the Polish people might understand them, but us Russians, when it comes to Western Ukrainians, that's no. Like
Yeah.
Surzik, yeah, we understand that because it's kind of a mix between Russian and Ukrainian. But he came here, he went to drama school, and he got absolutely rid of his accent, which is, to me, it's kind of strange. It's like the same as, taking a Polish person and taking him here, and then next thing you know, he speaks perfect Russian.
Right.
So I guess this technique is like, it should be really tough. Like of making someone forgetting their native accent.
Yeah,
is
I
a-
think it's less of forgetting and more of learning to bypass it. And there is an acting accent, which is the RP accent, which is similar to mine, but not quite. It's a little bit more clipped. As we also have what we call BBC English or radio English, which again is a little bit different, but is something similar to mine, something similar to RP, but they're all sort of different, slightly different, but they're the focus of these are about creating a very clear, very neutral accent. So a lot of English actors will learn these accents specifically, and they probably put them on top rather than replace their own accent. It should be noted now there is a growing popularity in not doing this, especially when it comes to Shakespeare productions and things like this, like classical productions. There's a growing trend of keeping your accents because it's beautiful, right? It's interesting, and especially Shakespeare. Whereas a while ago it would have been very common that everyone would speak with this fake neutral accent.
Yeah,
now
I guess I'm sorry for cutting in. It's more like this. How do you say it? Archaicized. Is that a word?
how do you say?
Archaicized, like a fake archaic.
Archaicize.
Right, I see what you're saying. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's just a kind of traditional delivery, but now, I mean, actually, it's much more likely now to see people with accents from different places, because actually we want to, especially when it comes to Shakespeare, things like that, we want it to feel grounded, real. We want it to feel for the people, so it's very important. So yeah, definitely more push towards keeping accents, using the language is musical, and so are the accents.
Yeah, it definitely is. Have you ever had in your practice to speak with a different accent?
Okay, I have, but I'm really bad at this. I'm not very good at accents. Honestly, I just never learned. I never really trained in it. So it's not really my forte. I've had to do it once or twice, but never really focused or...
Which ones did you have to imitate?
Oh, gee, I can't remember. I think I had to do a... from Yorkshire. Yeah, I'm not going to do it now. I cannot remember at all. But I played... was it Yorkshire? I think it was Yorkshire. I played Smike from Nicholas Nickleby. And the thing is, he actually has a speech impediment as well. So I had to do a Yorkshire accent underneath a speech impediment. And I mean, it's fine because it masked my terrible accent, So yeah, but no, not really is the answer. I haven't really had to really learn another accent. Haven't really tried.
But if you had to, like, if you had like a Hollywood role, which accent would be easy for you to imitate?
Oh, good question. I've got no idea. I think the English accents are hard because they are wildly different. I remember in my childhood having shows, TV shows from the north, and they were subtitled and things
really?
like that. Yeah, things like that. So I mean, I think that's a special case, but even so, it can happen, and there can be occasions where you won't understand people. I'm used to it now, but definitely in my youth there were times I was like, where are you from? England? What? It's just because we have such wildly different accents, and my accent to someone from Yorkshire, for example, wildly different. So I think what would you call like a kind of normal American accents?
Yeah.
I think they're not too difficult to emulate, to learn at least. Maybe difficult to learn well, but they're quite clear. Whereas some English accents are anything but, and yeah. So maybe if I had to go, that would be my first case anyway, because I would be like, okay, I think I can manage that. Maybe.
So you mentioned these TV shows from the north. Like, they weren't even Scottish, but they were subtitled.
Yeah, I can't remember where they were from. I don't want to say because I'll get it wrong.
Newcastle?
No, I'm trying to think. I can't tell you. I've forgotten.
So, okay. Yeah, but Geordie's. Well, you've seen Alan Partridge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's Simon Greenough, I believe it is the actor, who doesn't actually speak with Geordie accent.
Right.
Yeah, because he's somewhere from. He's south from from Newcastle. So he speaks with sort of again like regular. Southernized, I believe, English accent, but he pulls off a really great Geordie accent.
Talk of the devil.
Morning, Miss Partridge.
Yeah, Michael, I was just saying to Susan, a bit of a job for you. Unfortunately, some vandals have sworn all over my car again.
Vandals, eh, Miss Partridge? Makes me wonder what it's all about.
A boot?
Aye, vandals, what is it all about?
Oh, about, sorry. Sometimes it's difficult to understand the Geordie people.
You can do it, it's brilliant. I wish I could do it, I just haven't tried. I haven't practiced.
Geordie I can't. I guess I could pull off somewhat American and Australian.
Yeah?
Maybe, yeah.
Excellent.
These are the broken airline from my truck. Go find some kangaroos and drink some Fosters.
Perfect. Can you do English, don't mind?
Well, I guess like my regular speech is that I'm just sort of trying to blend in with whoever I'm speaking. Like right now, I'm trying to pull off a British one.
Right.
So yeah, I've just done a glottal stop. But I guess to the closest one to me, like sort of emotionally, maybe and culturally. No offense, of course, to anyone else. I guess it's Cockney. I just,
oh really?
Yeah. I just love it.
It's a beautiful accent. It's a beautiful accent. Yeah.
Alan Ford. Yeah, is skin and flute.
Right.
Was it? They have the word for suit. I guess it's skin and flute. No.
Nice whistle. Whistle and toot, suit.
Flute.
Sorry?
Whistle and flute.
Yeah, right, whatever.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, wonderful accents. Yeah.
Have you seen Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What do you think of his accent?
Oh, gee. I haven't seen that film for a long time. I remember it being pretty good. But again, Guy Ritchie, so his writing writes into the accent, and it writes in a way that is so stylish. It's almost a how can I say, a cartoonish version of this accent, and it's a real accent, of course, but he also plays into it and exaggerates it in a really creative, really fun way. So, of course, those accents from all of his films are so playful, so musical, so witty with the dialogue and snappy.
Yeah. I mean, so it's I guess he's also kind of underrated in terms of the lines. Like Quentin Tarantino is kind of universally recognized as the master of dialogues.
Guy Ritchie too, though, when it comes to Snatch, Lock, Stock, like the dialogue in that is just whip smart.
Exactly,
super good dialogue.
Exactly.
Also, like you can see, I think even now as well, but you can see in his films he has an ear for voices and accents. Like he will choose actors based on their voices and their accents because he loves the musicality of that, and I think you can see that in his films. Yeah, good films if you want to accent hunt, like
exactly. Well, mostly Cockney.
Yeah, mostly, but not only. And you get people from different areas of London. You get people from different social backgrounds of this area, so it's very fun seeing that interaction. Yeah. And of course, he plays with accent in the films. Like Brad Pitt in Snatch is notoriously unintelligible in some places because he's playing into that cartoonish accent, and Guy Ritchie does that in a lot of his films.
So it was kind of always the butt of the joke.
Right.
Do you understand what he was saying? No.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is really surprising, knowing that he's American.
Yeah, he played it very well. Yeah.
By the way, yeah, you also mentioned BBC English, and I instantly remember King's Speech.
Yeah, sure. The King's Speech is very interesting. About it will teach you a lot about that accent, about making it perfect in that way.
Do you remember the first scene? Like
oh right,
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
presenter.
done that, but I've seen it. Yeah. To get it to the right, you want to get the right distance, the right amount of projection. Yeah. You want it to be perfect.
Which was also a condenser mic, but an older one.
Right.
They didn't have USB.
I wouldn't have thought so. You never know. Plug into the old gramophone or something.
Yeah, well, it had Alan Turing, so no, you never know. No, he was ahead of his time. But what do you think about Geoffrey Rush's performance? Because as Colin Firth's character said, that he just jumped out of the outback and was pretending to be like someone.
I mean, I remember it being excellent, but he's an excellent actor, and he's also very good with accents. He does a great, funny, accent for Pirates of the Caribbean. He's really good at character acting, so he's very good at pulling accents out. And in that film he does very, very good accent. Again, I haven't seen that film for years, so I can't remember it quite so well.
Speaking about accents, who do you think it's easier for a British person to imitate American accent, or is it the other way around?
Oh, good question. You know what? I just couldn't say. I think if we're talking about actors, I think a lot of British actors it seems to me they seem to pull off American accents relatively well. But the other way around, I've seen American actors who I've had to double take and be like, wow, well, they're not English, you know. But I think the thing is both ways round, and this is a funny thing with accents, is we tend to stereotype accents and sometimes not realize we're doing it. So a lot of American actors might perform what they think is an English accent, and it is an English accent, but they'll come out sounding slightly odd. But then we're the same. We might pull out a strange American accent that doesn't really belong anywhere, but it's just vague American or vague English, and vague Russian, of course. I've noticed since moving here, Hollywood Russian accents are not much like the Russian people that I meet here. They don't speak like that, very, very rarely. So, I think we almost misunderstand, or we just tend to simplify accents in our minds. So, I think if you're gonna copy an accent, it doesn't matter where you're from. It's about the work that you put in to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I don't actually remember many Russians in Hollywood. Mikhail Gorunov.
No, I'm
sorry,
speaking more about when actors will perform a Russian character, and you get that weird, I don't know, it's just a weird accent that doesn't really exist.
Какие ваши доказательства?
Right.
Cocainum. That's Red Heat. Everybody here loves it. I mean, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
But it's such a cult classic that every time it's on Russian television, us 90 kids, remember, we laughed our asses off when it premiered. Yeah, just because it's so ridiculous.
It's funny.
It's such a misrepresentation of Russia.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but we took it really well because we laughed at it.
Yeah.
We laughed at it. We all love Arnie, but Oleg Vidov, by the way, was in it. Vidov and Savely Kramarov was in it. So just two Russians there. The rest, I believe, were American, who was speaking in very funny accent.
I'll never forget. I went to see The Shape of Water in Russia. Do you know that film from Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah.
And there were Russian characters in that. And this is an Oscar-winning film, right? And I remember sitting in the cinema, and when the Russian character came on screen and said a line, the cinema laughed. Everyone was like, what the everyone really laughed at it, and I was like, whoa, that's crazy. This is an Oscar-nominated film, and it's clearly laughably, sort of bad in some respects.
Yeah, we will never miss an opportunity to laugh at this.
But it's, I tell you what, since moving here, it's opened my eyes to a lot of this rubbish in films where the characters will speak Russian and other Russian characters are like, yes, you are Russian, go through into the Kremlin, Tom Cruise, and it's just so ridiculous when you know a little bit and you hear it and you're like, oh man, that sounds so stupid. Like I'm bad and that sounds really bad, you know.
Yes, the Independence Day was also iconic for that.
Did they do it there? Yeah.
There was a map, a very poorly drawn map, by the way, and for some reason they decided to write names of Russian cities in Russian.
Oh right.
Yeah, but instead of Novosibirsk, they wrote Novosyoyersk.
Oh yeah.
And there was also a some kind of text appearing on the screen, and the military were apparently taking it very seriously. But it said "Tucha vznamzon."
What does it mean?
Nobody knows.
Right.
It's a mystery. Well, tucha means a rain cloud or a storm cloud. But vznamzon is not a word, so to this day,
strange.
Nobody knows what it means. Like we tried to switch keyboards into Latin symbols and type it in. It's still gibberish. It doesn't make any sense. So to this day, it's a mystery. Yeah. So whoever directed it or whoever did the graphics for Independence Day, please tune in and explain it.
My wife told me about an episode of Doctor Who apparently set on a Russian submarine, and she said the same. The text above the doors and on the crates just utter gobbledygook. Doesn't mean anything.
Really? I wouldn't expect that from Doctor Who. I mean, it's...
Come on. Really?
Which Doctor was it?
I've got no idea. I think Matt Smith, because that's her favourite, but I couldn't tell you, man. I don't watch it anymore.
Was kind of I mean... Yeah, he's a great actor, but
I gave up very early on Who. Not that it's bad if you love Doctor Who. That's perfect. That's great, but not a fan.
Okay, and we'll just go on as a podcast in case it just turns off. Because I'm really enjoying the conversation as it is, not just for the the cameras. Because as you know, I'm not an actor. This is my first time, by the way. Nice. So but I believe that Christopher Eccleston was better.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He was in this Are You My Mummy, like one of the most terrifying episodes.
Yeah, scary.
Jesus Christ. But did you see both episodes? Because it's just
of course,
split into, God, that was awful. So knowing that it was about World War II, I'm surprised that Russia wasn't even mentioned there. But yeah, I guess it was not really like about the war in and of itself, but who was the best Doctor, by the way, in your mind?
I think Eccleston, yeah. I never... again, I stopped very soon after. I got to the end of Tennant's run and I was so tired of it by then. I'm not going to sit here and badmouth Doctor Who, but by the time Tennant finished his season, I was pretty done with Doctor Who, the series, and I never really went back. I've seen a few episodes here and there, but I never looked at it. Yeah, Capaldi seems okay. He seems quite interesting, but I only saw 1 or 2 episodes.
What's the, like, in terms of arts, like, not necessarily the movies, just music, and sort of knowing that 2020 wasn't, let's just say, it wasn't very rich in terms of events,
right.
Cultural for obvious reasons. What's the thing that you're looking forward to most in 2021?
Well, of course, I hope more films come out in the cinema. That's the main thing, because we've had just a drought of entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So it's always good to see movies coming out in the cinema. But I think we've been relatively lucky, shall I say, here, in that, the audiences are reduced, but there are shows here, there are events happening, so I don't think I'm going as stir crazy as perhaps some people who have had less fortunate situations when it comes to lockdown, to quarantine, depending on how you view the situation, of course. But it has been good to remain sane, know that there are things you can do, you're not just totally locked down completely.
Yeah.
I do believe we've been lucky in that.
Yeah, we definitely have. I mean, but at the same time, I believe, won't obviously speak for everyone else, but I do believe that people really miss live shows.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's really, like, when you're looking forward, to seeing some of your favorite bands play live, and then bang, everything gets cancelled. You don't even know when it's if it's ever gonna come back.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's why I say we've been lucky, because I mean I've performed my show during this time when I have family and friends who work in the arts who have lost their jobs. They've shut down. They just waiting for how long we still don't know. So we've been very lucky to be able to perform, to be able to view things, and it's not an ideal situation, of course, but that's why for me I think films in the cinema is sort of the one thing that I've missed, because that's just stopped. It's been sad.
Matrix 4.
I'm interested to see what they come up with. I trust the director. I trust her very much. So
she's just one, because
just the one. I can't remember which. Is it Lena?
Who's got crazy hair?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, but either one. I am
red dreadlocks.
I really enjoyed The Matrix, of course. I think Sense8 was underrated. I really enjoyed Sense8. So I'm really I'm very interested. If this was another franchise with another director, I would not. I wouldn't be too hot on the idea. But
likewise,
I am interested to see what they come up with and how. Yeah.
Yeah, and if, fingers crossed, Park Live is not cancelled this year in July, you're going to be there?
Why not? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, I've been looking for an excuse to go, actually, because I missed it before. So, let's go. Sure. I mean, Deftones are supposed to play that. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so they haven't cancelled anything.
Right.
So, website and the social media says that, the July 21 is...
We'll have to see how the borders are, the situation at the borders.
Yeah, but they're slightly opening. Well, Japan is still on full lockdown.
Right. Well, England's pretty locked down still. They keep saying they're going to open.
So there's a new virus. That's
so I hear. Yeah, who knows?
but the vaccine is still there. I'm taking my test, by the way, next week. So
excellent.
I'm gonna need another run-of-the-mill laser eye surgery. So I'm gonna have to take it. Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah, I take one every month in theory. Every month. Because of course I'm working with children sometimes. So it's very important.
Sure. Yeah. It makes sense.
Every month I get tested. So.
Okay. Оказавшись перед Путиным, что ты ему скажешь? Just kidding. Юра Дудь.
You've lost a light.
Sorry?
You've lost a light.
Oh, yeah, sure. He's going to copy strike me now. Yeah. Well, I don't have any contests. But next time, maybe if I have 1 million subscribers sometime, then maybe, yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank
you for being my first guest, and I'm really looking forward to The Opposite Sex on March 8th.
Thank you very much. Yes.
And every conversation is a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.